Hello there, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by for your monthly insights for the month of June. Before we get started, let me just tell you what to expect here. This is a general reading, so I would never recommend that anybody make any decisions based on a general reading. If you have something you're trying to make a decision about, I would always suggest get a private reading so that whoever is reading for you can look at those energies that apply just to you, not to the energies of maybe like 1,500 people who are watching, but they can hone in and find out specifically what's going on with you. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is free will plays a part in everything. So everything that you hear here, if it does apply to you, and like I said, not all of it will, you have free will. So if you hear something that you don't like, you do have the free will to make some decisions and to change some things along the way so that they are not the experiences that you don't want to have. So none of this is written in stone. You have free will. Free will can change anything. And other people's free will can change things too. But I think it's important that we know that our free will can change things. And when we have a heads up early like this gives us a chance, if we see something coming in we'd rather not have happen, to handle it. All right, so what else do I want you to know? What I'm looking at is one life cycle. All of us have several different life cycles running at the same time. Many times they overlap somewhat. So you've got maybe a family life cycle, a work life cycle, a school life cycle, a romance life cycle, etc., friendship life cycles. So I'm just going to be looking at one life cycle that comes up for each sign during the month. So this is going to be a major theme for each sign, but it is not going to be everything that goes on during the month. So please don't think of this as something comprehensive, because it absolutely is not. Okay, so I think you guys know everything I want you to know going into this. And so on with your reading. Hello there, Aries. Thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out for your monthly insights for the month of June. During this life cycle that I'm looking at for you, one of the things that comes up right off the bat is your environment. And I am seeing a happy home life for you. You're pretty happy with, well, I guess I shouldn't necessarily say home, but for most of you, it'll be home. For a few of you, this may have to do more with where you work or where you go to school. But this is can be any environment where you have energy or effort invested. And I just see that it feels very happy and very comfortable there for you, whatever that environment is. Now the next card talks to me about your subconscious leanings, and what I see is right now you have a lot of choices in life, and your subconscious is trying to sift through those choices for you. For some of you, this is going to be career choices. For some of you, this is going to be choices about how to handle a situation in a relationship. So there's a lot of different ways that this can play out, but this is what your subconscious is working on finding, on really sorting through those choices and figuring out, okay, which ones are higher priority for us? Us being the subconscious and your consciousness for you. Okay, so the next card talks to me about your learning style and also your communication style. I feel like right now, whatever it is that you're learning or you're researching, you're feeling a little bit under the gun about it. You're feeling like there are deadlines, like you have to find this out or else, like there may be dire consequences, but at a minimum consequences if you don't find out this information correctly or get this information right. To me, this feels like school where you have a really strict instructor. Although this does not have to be in school, this can be where you're putting your own pressure on yourself to be finding out things more quickly. So something going up there on there about learning where you're feeling like you're just kind of behind the 8 ball there. Let's see, as far as communication style, I feel like right now with your communication, you're sort of being quiet, you're sort of hanging back. I feel like right now you're sort of waiting to see how things go around you and in your environment before you say anything. This is almost like maybe you're new in this environment and other people have more seniority, have been around longer. So you're just kind of wanting to be quiet until you get to know the ropes. I feel like you've got some ideas that can definitely be used, but you want to sort of have a good feel about the people that are around you before you start just blurting out ideas. All right, so that's communication. and learning. The next card talks to me about your work, and I am strange about work. Work can be those things that you do to make a living, but it also can be those things that you're doing to improve yourself as well. So, as far as work, it looks like in the tangible world with the work world, if this is applying to you in that way, what it looks like is there's a place that you would like to leave. Oh my gosh, get me out of here. But you're feeling like you can't leave. There's something drawing you back. Usually when it comes to work, that something is money, the pay. But I do feel like you're getting really, really restless, and you may even have quit and like come back and realize, oh my gosh, what did I do? I don't have a job now, and come back. Or you just want to quit so badly, but you can't. So that's what I have coming up for work if it's tangible work. If it's coming in for you as something that you're doing to improve your character, I feel like you may be doing some work on, like there's a situation in your life that you're having a hard time letting go of. And I feel like your work around your character might have to do with, how do I let go of this? How do I let go of this and move forward? How do I give forgiveness and move forward? That type of thing. So I'm not sure which way it resonates for you. It could be just as much one or the other because I do have like a 50-50 split on that, but that's work. The next thing that I'm looking at is that part of you that's being grown or expanded right now. And this part is a part that talks about reconsidering things, rethinking things, maybe even changing your mind about things completely. I feel like there are some things that you have walked away, or some situations that you have walked away from because they were depleting you. I feel like you're walking back into those with some ideas about how we can do this where I won't be depleted. I feel like that's the part of you that's being grown or expanded right now, is how do I go back into that and make that better than what it was? All right, so something that you stand up for right now. I feel like right now you're really confused, and all of these cards kind of point to that too, except for the environment card. Everything else that we've talked about so far sort of talks about confusion. You know, you've got a lot of options you're working on in your subconscious. You're talking about or thinking about or going back to a place or a situation you used to be in. You're having a hard time getting out of a situation. So a lot of this is about confusion, about not feeling like you have a clear picture of where you want to go, what you want to accomplish, what you want to get done. And so there's that confusion that comes in, and this is actually something that you're standing up for. I feel like if you have friends that are saying, you know what, you're giving mixed signals, it looks like you're confused. I think you're saying, you know what, you would too if you had been through what I've been through. You would be confused. You would be giving out mixed signals too. So hush up with the criticism over there. So that's what I kind of feel like is going on there. Something generally like that. And then the next card that comes up talks to me about how other people perceive you. What I have here is that other people perceive you as somebody who is very social, very outgoing, very smiley, very happy. You're kind of like the sunshine. When you walk into the room, it feels like the sun shines for people because you bring in so much happiness with you. So that's how you're perceived by others. Now there's a lesson or experience that comes up in every life cycle. And so we want to look at that lesson or experience next and figure out what it is you guys are learning or experiencing, Aries. Okay, so to me, this really looks like you are going through a period where you're a little bit less sure of your material resources than what you have been in other times during your life. So there's more kind of tightening up the belt, making sure that the resources can go as far as they possibly can. Excuse me, being smart with your money and with your resources. So this is the lesson or the experience right now is going through that situation. Now, as you go through this situation where you're learning about how to make it with less resources, there are some other things that are coming up. One thing that's coming up is that you are learning as you do this to start really thinking things through much more than what you would have before. Where before you could kind of be a little bit sloppy about your resources because you knew you had plenty coming in. Now you're thinking things through. You're making plans with your resources. You're making sure everything goes as far as it needs to. The other thing that we have coming up The other thing that we have coming up really talks about, it's sort of similar, but it's really contradictory to what I just saw. That's why I'm kind of stalling here, like, okay, what does this mean? How does this fit together? So I'm feeling around a little bit. Okay. So really what it ties in with is this whole idea of not being able to move away from a place or a situation that you want to be able to move away from, or coming back to a situation that you had walked away from. This is kind of like that too. I feel like there is somebody that is sort of manipulating you in your life, manipulating what situations you're involved in. So maybe they're manipulating you in order to keep you at work. Maybe this is, I don't even want to go into examples there. You guys will recognize it for those of you that this applies to. Um, but I feel like there's somebody who kind of has the key to your heart, somebody that's important to you that you really care about a lot, who is asking you to really, how do I want to say this? They're throwing you off your game, basically. They're making it really hard for you to think analytically. So while on one hand I'm seeing you really thinking things through logically, on the other hand I see that there's a person that is somewhere in your life that is like, wait a second, what about me? And all full of the guilt trips and the emotion and everything like this, that's keeping you from thinking logically. Yet when that person's not around, you're able to think logically, you're able to move forward. And then the ultimate fulfillment of this life cycle, what gets you ready to graduate into the next life cycle actually, is I do see you leaving behind some kind of negative situation or a negative relationship. So if there's something that's been having a negative influence on you, something that's been dragging you down and holding you back and not letting you have that clarity that you need to move forward, because we've got, confusion really all over this spread. I feel like you're going to be letting go of that person or that situation that is causing you that confusion, that's distracting you so that you can't get a clear head. I feel like you're going to be moving away from that person or that situation. Okay? So that is your theme coming up for the month of June, Aries. Thank you so much for hanging out. I do appreciate all your likes, your shares, your subscribes, and your comments. Everyone have a fantastic, fantastic month, and I will see you back here the next time. Peace out.